As a concerned South African, the appointment of Leo Brent Bozell III as the United States ambassador to South Africa has raised significant concerns regarding the future of our diplomatic relations with one of the world's most influential powers. This development has not only captured the attention of the media, but has also ignited debates about the direction of international relations and the principles that should guide South Africa's foreign policy moving forward. The nature of this appointment could shape the diplomatic landscape in ways that are yet to be fully understood. Leo Brent Bozell III is a prominent figure known for his role as a conservative media critic, founder of the Media Research Center, and a vocal advocate for conservative views. His career has been primarily focused on challenging what he perceives to be liberal bias in the media and promoting conservative perspectives. While these credentials might seem disconnected from the delicate and multifaceted task of diplomacy, his background in media activism paints a clear picture of a person with strong ideological views. These views may not be conducive to fostering the collaborative, open, and dynamic relationships that South Africa requires from its international partners. The United States, under any ambassador, remains one of South Africa's key diplomatic and economic partners. The two countries have shared interests in trade, education, science, and technology, and their relationship has been based on mutual respect and cooperation for decades. Given the historical context of our country's complex past, marked by apartheid, inequality, and the need for national reconciliation, South Africa requires a diplomatic approach that not only values the importance of political and economic cooperation, but also respects the nuances of our social and historical reality. The appointment of Leo Brent Bozell III as the U.S. ambassador raises questions about whether he will be able to engage in this sensitive political environment with the depth of understanding required. Bozell's prominent role in conservative media activism suggests that his approach to diplomacy could be influenced by his ideological leanings. His vocal opposition to liberal media, along with his direct criticism of media outlets he deems biased, could translate into a form of diplomacy that might prioritize ideological alignment over pragmatism. In South Africa, where political opinions range from liberal to conservative, this could prove problematic. The diversity of opinions within the South African political sphere requires a diplomatic envoy who can work within a framework that allows for dialogue, compromise, and understanding, rather than deepening ideological divides. Another key concern lies in the differing positions held by South Africa and Bozell on critical international issues, particularly the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. South Africa has been a vocal critic of Israeli policies, especially with regard to its treatment of Palestinians. The South African government has expressed unwavering support for Palestinian rights and has historically taken a strong stance against what it perceives as human rights violations committed by Israel. Conversely, Bozell has been a staunch and vocal supporter of Israel, aligning himself with conservative movements that back Israeli actions in the region. This divergence of views could create diplomatic friction, as South Africa's stance on the Israeli-Palestinian conflict is unlikely to change due to domestic and international pressures. With Bozell's clear support for Israel, it is possible that tensions could arise, not only between the two nations, but within the broader international community as well. The issue of Palestine is deeply embedded in South Africa's foreign policy and has become a matter of national pride, making it an area where diplomatic missteps could have lasting repercussions. Beyond this, Bozell's appointment signals a shift in the United States' broader foreign policy agenda, one that may focus more on ideological alignment and less on fostering meaningful, cooperative relationships based on shared global goals. South Africa, as a nation that seeks to play a leadership role in Africa and on the global stage, requires a diplomatic partner that is willing to engage with complex, multilateral issues and recognize the interdependence of global actors. This kind of diplomacy is often best suited to individuals who have experience navigating international relations with a focus on compromise, mutual understanding, and respect for cultural differences. However, the apparent ideological stance of Bozell may limit his ability to engage in this manner, particularly when faced with issues that challenge his core beliefs. South Africa's unique position on the global stage as a country that is deeply committed to the principles of democracy, human rights, and social justice places it at the center of several global debates. From its role in advocating for climate change solutions to its involvement in peacekeeping missions across the African continent, South Africa's international presence is significant. The country's foreign policy reflects its commitment to these values, and any disruption in its diplomatic ties could have far-reaching consequences, both regionally and globally. For instance, South Africa is actively involved in the work of the United Nations and other international organizations where its voice is often aligned with other developing countries advocating for a fairer global system. The United States, under any administration, has been a key player in these discussions, but its relationship with South Africa could suffer if the new ambassador's approach is one of ideological rigidity rather than diplomatic flexibility. The South African government must navigate this evolving relationship carefully, ensuring that its national interests, particularly with regard to international cooperation, are upheld in the face of any external pressures. Furthermore, South Africa faces significant domestic challenges, such as high unemployment, poverty, and inequality, as well as the ongoing efforts to ensure the rights of marginalized groups. The United States has played a pivotal role in supporting South Africa through international development aid, trade agreements, and social initiatives, which have positively impacted many South Africans. With an ambassador like Bozell, who may prioritize ideological alignment over cooperation on these issues, there is the possibility of a shift in the nature of the aid and diplomatic engagement South Africa receives. This could further complicate efforts to address the pressing issues facing our society. In conclusion, while it is understandable that the United States, as a sovereign nation, has the right to appoint ambassadors of its choosing, the appointment of Leo Brent Bozell III raises significant concerns about the future of South Africa-U.S. relations. His conservative background, staunch ideological views, and the potential for diplomatic friction on key global issues could have profound implications for South Africa's foreign policy and its ability to maintain a balanced and productive relationship with the United States. As a concerned South African, it is important that we recognize the complexities of this appointment and the need for continued dialogue and engagement between the two countries. Ultimately, South Africa's diplomatic future requires ambassadors who are committed to building relationships based on mutual respect, understanding, and the pursuit of common goals, not simply those who bring ideological agendas to the table. The future of our relationship with the United States must be one that acknowledges our nation's unique challenges, values, and position on the world stage.